Hi, everybody. Hopefully we are going out live at the moment. We had a few technical issues, which is a great way to start a live stream on a morning. But thank you so much for those who are watching and joining us today. We should be live on Facebook at the moment. I'm Laura Finity. I'm the Multimedia Content Manager at Adroll. We do these live streams every week on a Wednesday at various times so that we can bring you all sorts of topics to discuss and all sorts of guests to try and kind of bring some insights into marketing techniques and growth ideas. Today we've got tons going on. First of all, we're going to be chatting with Jamie Lee, who's the head of content strategy for Adroll. And we're going to be talking about 7 post-corona trends. That's coming up on the way. We're also going to be talking to Betabrand. These guys are an awesome company who make these amazing dress pant yoga pants. And they're going to share their growth story about how they used crowdsourcing and community to pivot their product and their brand. They have this amazing claim that over 2 million people have joined their design department. So we're going to find out more about how their audience and how their customers get involved in their products. And hopefully that might inspire you to implement some of these ideas in your company and your business. Also in the mix, we've got the cats of Adroll. They're going to be giving their work from home advice. That's coming up. But first, I wanted to also share a clip from a great webinar we held on Monday, and that was the COVID-19 stimulus programs for small businesses. I've got a clip that's just a minute long to show you, but really wanted to just share this again and to just try and promote for people to go and watch this webinar if you are a small business owner. We've partnered with Womply, and basically their team will handhold you through the process for these application for loans, and they'll help you to get your process streamlined so that you can actually get that cash in hand quicker. So let's play a short clip from Monday's webinar.
So the PPP loan stands for the Paycheck Protection Program, and it was passed as part of the CARES Act. And this is really the big appropriation that is aimed at small businesses in the US. And so this is a new program that didn't exist prior to the CARES Act passing. So unlike the EIDL program, there really is no precedent for PPP loans. But at a very high level, this allows businesses to qualify for up to $10 million in forgivable loans. And we can talk a little bit about the rules related to loan forgiveness. But the allocation here is $350 billion toward the program. And so think of this as the main thrust of the stimulus that is aimed towards small businesses in the United States. The program went live on April 3rd for the majority of business types in the US, including LLCs, C Corps, and S Corps. And it just went live last Friday to include independent contractors and sole proprietors. So it's a really broad eligibility, and businesses can qualify based on demonstrated payroll expenses. And then you're able to, as a business, spend this money on a number of designated cost categories that include payroll, rent, mortgage, interest, and utilities. And then if you spend the money on those categories during what's called the covered period, which is the 8 weeks after you get your loan amount, then you can qualify for up to 100% forgiveness on the money you receive from the government.
All right, there we go. So that's just a clip from our webinar on Monday. I will share a link to that webinar in the chat box below the live stream that you're watching at the moment. If you're a small business owner, I really urge you to go watch it. There were some fantastic questions that came in from the audience. And of course, if you do have any questions, feel free to add them to the box while you're watching, whether you're watching live or post live. We'll do our best to get people on our team to answer your questions and help you out with any of the questions that you might have. But for now, moving on with the content that we're covering today, I want to bring into the chat Jamie Lee. Morning, Jamie. This is our head of content strategy at Adroll. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's a nice sunny day. How are you?
I know, it's beautiful, right? It's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to chat a little bit about the 7 trends for post-corona, because that is going to happen one day. We will go beyond the situation that we're in.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get there. I think there's been a lot of messaging out there. People are trying to figure out how to navigate the situation. We are seeing some trends surface that are really important to look forward to and start adapting your strategy to.
So we'll fire through some of these, starting off with, can you tell me a little bit about the just-in-time principle and why that's predicted to change.
Yeah, so the just-in-time principle is a decades-old principle around inventory management, and the idea there is around keeping a minimal amount of inventory in stock to reduce the cost that comes with overstock. So I think that over the decades, just-in-time has evolved. We've become speedier when it comes to fulfilling demand. We have more comprehensive, robust technology that allows us to forecast better. But I think with the bottleneck that we've seen from production and then the shortages of supply, I think that companies are going to start thinking through keeping a wider buffer with their inventory margins, especially for non-perishable items.
And I mean, we're touching on supply chain there. Of course, China has been one of the world's suppliers of everything, basically, for the past few decades. Are there any predictions for that to change?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I think that we never really thought through the threat of what a compromised hub would, the impact of that. So China being a sourcing and manufacturing hub, this in causing that bottleneck where the consumers are demanding product and then companies are unable to deliver them in a timely manner. Companies are now thinking through creating a more nimble supply chain. And one of the ways to do this is having a plan B. So having a Rolodex of other sourcing and manufacturing companies that you can work with. I would say the third trend would be this focus or this hyper focus on localization. So with products in the United States, you might see it says made in the USA, but that doesn't necessarily mean all of the sourcing or the resources, the materials to put them together came from the United States. So in order to really shorten that production line, I think that companies are going to start looking to what their options are within their state or within the country itself.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun challenge for marketers when people have products and they're like, it's made in, this our own country, and then actually having to be like, well, no, not all of it. So that's going to be definitely a fun challenge to come. But no surprises here, of course, but we're expecting to see continued, boom in online shopping.
Yeah, in doing a little research on this, I was fascinated that online shopping actually just surpassed offline shopping last year. Online shopping has been around for quite some time, but I think that the timing could not be more canny. And it's a forcing function / also validation that online is the future, and that hopefully brands have had that running start to start considering what their digital presence looks like. But now is the best time to strengthen that presence.
And of course, I guess we're going to see more D2C, more direct to consumer companies as well.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is you have the mega giants like Amazon. I have personally, I'll share a little toilet paper story. I have a subscription to Amazon, their subscription service. Toilet paper is part of that. I've never really had to think of my toilet paper until this month. I've gotten away with it, I know. And I was hearing about the toilet paper crisis when the pandemic hit. But when I went to check my subscription that's supposed to come tomorrow, I saw that I'm not getting toilet paper. So that forced me to think through my decision of going through Amazon for my toilet paper needs. And I did a little research. I found a great company. I have nothing to do with them, but I'm going to plug them. They're called Number 2. And I saw that they have a sustainable product made out of bamboo. They also offer subscription services. So having that convenience that a mega giant like Amazon might have is really helping direct-to-consumer brands get ahead and just cut out the middleman and connect directly with their customers.
Love it. A toilet paper story. That feels like it could be a name for such stories in the future. So, we've obviously seen a change of online events ourselves. Our company are holding our CAB event, which is our customer advisory board event, virtually this week even, sorry. And of course, other companies have had to put their events virtual and online. So we're expecting another trend would be to see a continuation of more online events, perhaps in the future beyond coronavirus.
Yeah, so I think we've had the technology to do a lot of things online, and maybe it's been mostly like with Zoom as an example, and that skyrocketing and consumers starting to use Zoom for happy hours. I was just talking to my cousin 2 weeks ago. We were doing like a little, we were FaceTiming, we were having a glass of wine, and we were like, what should we watch tonight? Sometimes we try and sync up our Netflix rom-com movies. And we've been doing it for months. And I started to think how funny this is, like actually the way that everyone's communicating now. But we're seeing it more at a grander scale and beyond just consumers doing it with their friends and family, and then companies leveraging technology in the same way within the workplace. We're seeing kind of that divide being crossed and a sense of community being developed through digital events. And I think that there's probably other opportunities that we have yet to discover in ways that we can enhance the relationship that we have with our customers and build a stronger sense of community.
Absolutely. And then I guess the final trend we were looking at is, the work situation. Of course, we're all working from home and we're all working remotely. Are we expecting to see this kind of continued, and how's the workforce going to be distributed?
I am personally tied to this. I love this question. It's something I've been thinking through for so long as someone who has worked from home maybe like every Friday for the past few years. And I think the common question there that has been flagged is, are our employees, is our team more productive, or are they just kicking back and watching Netflix? Interestingly enough, this pandemic has been a forcing function. So managers, teams, they have to figure it out. They have no choice. They have to figure out how to make a productive team and make sure that everyone still feels connected, and that they don't go crazy and get cabin fever. So I do think that with this forcing function, that there have been lessons that have been learned, and that they're going to be applied in the years to come.
Awesome. Well, we're just about out of time here, but hopefully the nice thing about talking about a topic like this is that we're looking to the future, that there are some great things that can come out of some very difficult situations. So appreciate a little bit of like a bit of positive insight to what the future might hold. Can I have a cheesy line? Of course, always.
I would say when one door closes, another one opens. So I think that especially with all of these trends, it's really with change or with challenges come great opportunity. And it's really all about, and you'll see that over our history, whenever something tragic or even slightly challenging happens in our day-to-day life, we're always thinking of a workaround for that. And so this pandemic is really just a macro event where there are opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for joining us and having a chat today, taking a look at the 7 post-corona trends that we might expect to see in the coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ooh. Oh, I just cut her off. Sorry, Jamie. Thank you. All right. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to be chatting with Caroline and Marie, who are from Betabrand. But whilst I just do a swap over of the cameras, we'll have a little break, which is brought to you by the cats of Adroll.
Nobody else but you. My world to lift you up, I could change my life to better suit your mood. 'Cause you're so smooth.
Thank you to them for submitting some work from home advice. I know next week we're going to be doing Weenie Wednesday because we've had an influx of sausage dog puppies in the office. So we'll give any opportunity to give a voice and some airtime to the pets of Adroll. But thank you to everybody who contributed to our cats work from home advice this week. Moving on, I'm going to introduce our next two guests into today's live stream. I have Caroline and Marie, who are from Betabrand. Caroline is the Director of Marketing and Marie is the Creative Director. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good morning.
How are you both doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Well, thank you for joining us. Just in the intro this morning, I was saying a little bit about your company, how you make these amazing dress pant, yoga pants. And you've been involved with our GGC, that's our Guerrilla Growth Collective community, which is a group of direct consumer marketers who get together, kind of share ideas, inspiration, and chat through some of the challenges of marketing. And so we've been looking at your product for a while, but you have an amazing growth story and you have an amazing product and you have all sorts of amazing things going on with your company. So we wanted to invite you to come and tell us a little bit about your growth story today. So first of all, maybe a good place to start is a little bit about what Betabrand is, and then we'll dig in from there.
Sure. I guess I can start. So yeah, and thank you for having us on today. This is exciting. We're happy to be here. And so a little bit about Betabrand. Betabrand is an online clothing company and social commerce company. So what that means is we are actively engaging with our customers every single day to fuel the designs that we put into market. A little bit about the background of the company. It was started, several years ago now, actually as a menswear business. And around 5-6 years ago, we made a pretty drastic pivot to being primarily a women's wear brand. And that's kind of how we got to where we're at today. Our core product is a product called Dress Pant Yoga Pants. If you are a woman between the ages of like 21 and probably 50, like you've probably seen our ads on Facebook or Instagram or other places. This is a product that we launched about 5-6 years ago and completely went viral. It's a great product with a cult following, and it's a product that is exactly what its name is. So they are pants that feel like yoga pants, but they look like dress pants. So you can wear them to work, wear them to the office, but feel like you're in your comfy lounge wear all day long.
And that feels kind of perfect for the current work from home situation where you feel like you want to be you want some formality in your life. You don't want to feel like you are wearing pajamas all the time, but you also want to be comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
So you touched very briefly on the fact that you originally a menswear company or product was a menswear and you pivoted to women's wear. Well, can you tell us a little bit about how the product came about, and then also just how you've been working with crowdfunding and crowdsourcing?
Sure. So the origin story of Betabrand is really interesting. Our founder and our CEO, Chris Linland, came up with this idea for kind of a wacky product called cordurounds. The idea behind cordurounds was they were corduroy pants where the corduroy stripes, instead of going vertically up and down, would go horizontally around the legs. This product kind of had, again, this cult following among his social circle in Silicon Valley and in the Bay Area. And he decided to actually bring this product to life with the support of his friends and his social circle. And like that grew from there. So that was kind of like the inception of crowdfunding at Betabrand, was making our very first product, which was cordurounds. That process kind of, like, Chris latched onto it and started releasing other products on top of that. Again, like centered around men. One of his like hit products was a product called Dress Pants Sweatpants, which was sweatpants for men that look like dress pants. So kind of the perfect Silicon Valley uniform. If you could think back to like the year, 2010, like around then when, Mark Zuckerberg was wearing hoodies all the time and everyone was super casual in Silicon Valley. It was kind of this like tongue-in-cheek, but like great product that he launched. And with that product, what we found through, talking to our customers was that why don't we make a similar product for women? And that is when the company just completely transformed. We just saw that there was a huge appetite for that product in women's wear. I think comfortable pants is not like comfortable pants for work is like not a thing for women. So yeah, that's kind of like how we got to where we are today. Was we just saw this growth in this product, and it completely changed the trajectory of the business.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge pivot, really. It's a massive change. And I think kind of also interesting for the current situation when a lot of companies are looking at like challenges and how to pivot and how to adapt with the ongoing situation. How you mentioned a viral experience. So was it like it was just like a particular moment, a particular product, a particular like kind of campaign that just really took off?
Yeah, it was the launch of our dress pant yoga pant product that just completely changed the company. We originally launched with what we consider now our classic styles, which is just a classic black boot cut or straight leg pant. And from there, I can't count the amount of times that we sold out this product. It was just, we couldn't keep them in stock fast enough. Crowdfunding was a huge part of that product too, where we, we weren't making orders, we weren't fulfilling orders or actually making product until we knew that we would have a certain number that we could make. So, once we started seeing that, like, okay, we blew our crowdfunding goal out of the water for this and we couldn't keep them in stock, we were just selling through. That coupled with the data that we saw around just the low cost to acquire a customer and higher repeat purchase rates and things like that, we just saw that this was like a product that we needed to capitalize on.
And how did you leverage data to make that pivot?
Yeah, so we would look at, from a marketing perspective, looking at all of our main KPIs. So we saw that the cost to acquire a customer for dress pant yoga pants was significantly lower than other products. We also saw that there was a huge opportunity to get people to repeat purchase. So once somebody came in and bought dress pant yoga pants, they were a lot more likely to come back and buy again. And when we looked harder into that data, we saw that they weren't really so much exploring other categories, but they were coming back and buying more dress pant yoga pants. So about 2 years ago, we kind of doubled down even more on the DPYP product and really like leverage that data to transform our merchandising mix as well. So making sure that we are always releasing like new styles, new colors, new leg openings, new features of dress pant yoga pants so that our customers would always have something else to come back and buy. And more recently, like probably in the past 12 months, we've even harder, just doubled down on that because we see the value of our customer as increasing with frequency that they buy. So we don't necessarily see that our customers are more valuable if they, spend more money with each particular order because everyone's kind of buying the same thing. But we saw that we can have more loyalty with customers when they buy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 times. So now what we're doing is releasing new styles, new colorways, new features of dress pant yoga pants every single week. And we use data from our customers to also help us figure out what features to launch or what styles or what colors. So we have a mix of polling across our website, mining customer comments and customer data through Facebook and things like that to see like what features. So we're really just leveraging data like throughout the entire course of our entire marketing funnel.
And you have this, really amazing and interesting, unique connections with your audience and with your customers. And you touched on it there in terms of just like collecting their feedback. But you have actively, like I was looking on your website and it says over 2 million people have contributed to your design process. So you've invited customers to come and get involved and to help pick those designs. So how has that been? And kind of, is that an ongoing thing that you're always doing with your customers?
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. This is something that's been important to the company since we started was kind of just getting that feedback from customers. So what we've been doing, so on our website, we have a designated section for design ideas where our design team can actually solicit feedback from our customers. So that's one place that we get feedback. We'll put up a design of, say, like a pair of pants, and we'll say, okay, do you want it to have a belt? Do you want it to have pockets? Do you want it to have like a button, or do you want it to pull on? What colors do you like? We've even polled on things like price, things like what should we name this product? We've really like run the gamut on polling and things like that across the site. Last year, we launched a closed Facebook group for our engaged customers. So people who have kind of self-identified as wanting to like be more involved. It's called Behind the Seams. We love it. Our customers, I think we definitely have well over 1,000 members at this point. And these women are like highly vocal. So we're constantly mining those comments to see what they're saying, how they're styling their products. So we're mining data that way. And then the most kind of like recent and probably the most exciting thing that we're doing that Marie can speak more to is our live events. And this is a way for us to not only launch products live in real time and do this big reveal, but also get customer comments and feedback in real time as we're actually like releasing a product.
Yeah, your live streams look amazing. I mean, obviously, prior to recent times, you've had more of a studio setup. And you've had kind of like a bit more of a kind of crew on the go. However, like you've been able to transition that and into a more home environment. But you know, how did that come about, and how easy is it to put on a kind of live production?
Yes, we have transitioned for sure. We did have a studio, and we do have a small crew that helps get the shows up and going every Friday. We have seen so much traction and so much excitement around the Friday specials and all the products that we are releasing on Fridays that we knew we needed to keep up the momentum. We needed to keep our audience engaged. We've got such super fans who are tuning in not only daily, but sometimes weekly for all of these shows. And so the transition from a live show in the actual studio in the store to being digital has had its ups and downs, of course. But I think that there are so many great examples of how people are transitioning really well. I mean, Saturday Night Live last weekend was really great. For example, we've actually found that this has helped us bring in more of our super fans to be part of the shows. So, for example, we used to have fans, if they lived in the area, come on set. They could be part of the show. They could help do a reveal. But now we can kind of go anywhere in the world and have someone be part of it. And it's kind of opened up a new opportunity in that way.
And how about with the work from home situation? How have you adapted into this situation?
From a show performance standpoint?
Yeah.
It's it's just finding different ways to solve for the same problems. We still have the same hosts that we did, familiar faces everywhere. We still have the same crew. Everyone's just kind of working a little bit differently, and we're just trying to see how we can use the digital elements of this. And like, do we bring an audience, like an applause, for example? An applause for purchases is something that's really, really fun when you're in the studio on set together. And we still needed that excitement to come through. So we've been testing different ways of still getting that fanfare, still getting the chat to be extremely active, still using the emojis and using all the other technical features that we've had in place, just in a little bit of a different way.
I love it. It's such a great way of building community and having an involvement and feeling like you're a part of something, which I feel like as a brand, as a consumer, it's what you really want from a brand, to be able to be connected like that. I want to take the opportunity as well to promote. You did send over a video for an event that you have happening this evening, right? It's happening at 5:30 p.m.
5:30, exactly.
And that's San Francisco time or Pacific time. But let me play this awesome video that you guys have made.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, now, from the beginning.
There we go. I'm guessing that everybody who is contributing to that are customers or part of the team, or who kind of took part?
They are all customers, every single one of them. And today we will have upwards of 50 new videos. We've got a few live special guests that will also do some live walks. We do have some of our models and a few employees, so there'll be some familiar faces as well.
I love it. I think also just a great example of everybody in this situation together, everybody kind of at home, and it's an opportunity to show, like, you know, it's like you see companies doing the Skype calls or the Zoom calls with the drinks and stuff like that, and it's just a collection of hopefully like something fun for people to do at home. We'll share information on how people can join that event in the chat once we wrap up the live talk today. So if anybody's looking for further information, you can look into the chat box for the links and for everything like that. I think before, you know, we finish up today, the last question for you is, at a time like this, what do you hope that, you know, that Betabrand stands for? You know, and how are you working towards that identity?
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think right now, so with everything that's going on in the world, it definitely poses like a specific threat to a business like ours, where we make our money selling pants for work, right? But that's just part of our business. I mean, the other part of our business, and it has been since the inception, is the idea of social commerce and building a community around clothes that people can get excited about. So I think that, like, to answer this question, there's two things. One is, I think Betabrand now more than ever can stand for community. And that's something that we've always had as a core value. So where everybody now is in the position of working remote, being isolated, you know, not being able to go to work and see people or see friends or be social, we can still provide that community that we've been providing more, and do it in more creative ways that Marie is driving. I think the other thing that was demonstrated in the video that you showed is that, you know, as a business, as our business personality, we don't take ourselves super seriously. I think we make clothes that are kind of tongue-in-cheek, and we make clothes that make people feel good when they wear them. So I think that's another thing that we, you know, want to stand for as a business, is just like making sure that you feel good when you wear our clothes, and you feel good when you engage with our brand, whether that's like buying our product and wearing it, or taking part in something that's like silly and fun, like a work from home fashion show. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much both for joining us today on the live stream. I really appreciate you taking the time and kind of sharing some of your growth story, and just, you know, some insights into some of the different community projects and ways in which you interact with your customers. It's really great and super inspiring. I'll make sure to share all the details of how people can get involved with this evening's event, but also just see more information for you guys. Of course, you are online. You can go to betabrand.com. And you are on Instagram at Betabrand_HQ, and Facebook at Betabrand as well. Of course, people can join into those communities and some of the closed groups to try and get a bit more involved in some of the different things that are going on online. But thank you so much both for joining us today.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you later.
There we go. All right, we're coming up to the end of today's live stream. I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who's been involved. First of all, we're chatting with Jamie Lee about the 7 post-corona brand trends to look out for. We're going to share that link to the article where you can read through all of those 7 trends that we were talking about today. I want to thank the cats of Adroll and their humans for submitting videos for their work from home advice. We're going to share those on our social media. Of course, Adroll and Nextroll is all over social media. We are on Instagram, we're also on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we are on LinkedIn. So make sure that you're following us at all of those places, and you can keep up to date with all of the great blog resources that we have, and extra learning opportunities. And I want to also just suggest, once again, if you're a small business owner, please do go and check out the webinar. I'm going to post the link about how to accelerate the process to get the PPP loans. And there was a wealth of information in that great webinar with Womply. So please do check it out. I'll share the links. But in the meantime, all there is to say is stay healthy, stay safe. We'll be back next week, where we're going to be talking more about acts of kindness in the current situation. So that's coming up next week. But whatever you're doing, have a great day.